Seamless communications between emergency services isn't just a goal. It's a life-saving necessity. Today we'll explore how NG911 is tearing down barriers and paving the way for true interoperability. That's coming up next right here on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories in public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, the podcast where we dive into the key topics shaping the future of emergency communications. I'm your host, Fletch. I'm an ENP and Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform. Let's get started. Interoperability isn't just about connecting radios or sharing information across jurisdictions. It's about ensuring that every agency, whether it's police, fire, EMS, or even external extended responders like public utilities, has seamless access to the right information at the right time. And the new NENA i3 NG911 network is built to make this happen. Let's start by addressing a common field communications pain point. Point-to-point radio communications. Traditionally, agencies relied on localized systems, using repeaters to extend their communications range. But, as we all know, when you go beyond that repeater's coverage range, things break down fast. And this is where the talk-around function comes into play, giving responders direct communications path without the need to connect back to the repeater. But here's the catch. Radio congestion. Too many users on the same frequency can cause chaos. And the solution isn't just to add more channels. It's about ensuring there's a strategy in place to enable multi-channel communications while maintaining interoperability. And that's where trunked radio came into play. But you're still limited by the range of the repeater. Interdepartmental communication is crucial. The last thing that you want is different agencies working the same incident to be on isolated islands of communications. We learned about that during 9/11. But let's zoom out to a broader perspective. Traditional telephone networks once limited emergency communications within local boundaries or silos. 911 was very localized, but available everywhere in those individual silos. But with next-generation 911's IP-based infrastructure, these geographic restrictions are fading away. We can now route calls across state lines or even further if needed. But there's a consideration here. If your call takers are remote, you need to extend radio dispatch capabilities. And now that can be done over IP networks as well. Another critical piece of the puzzle is CAD-to-CAD interoperability. When an incident gets initiated at one agency, that data should be able to flow seamlessly into another agency's system. But this is not always automatic. CAD systems are typically unique, but they need to be designed to share their interoperable data in a common format. So it's really not about one size fits all, but having a common framework for exchanging critical information. And all of this brings us to the backbone of this entire system. And that's the NG911 EZNet, implemented under the NENA i3 standards. This backbone ensures that while agencies maintain localized operational uniqueness, as long as they're adhering to a minimum standard for interagency communication, it's a good day. It's this standardization that makes interoperability possible without sacrificing any flexibility. The EZNet connects, routes, and prioritizes data across jurisdictions, whether it's voice, text, video, radio backhaul, or CAD-to-CAD connectivity, delivering hyper-localized IoT sensor data from the scene. It all flows ubiquitously end-to-end. So that's why we call NG911 more than just an upgrade. It's the new framework that enables agencies to communicate faster, smarter, and across more extensive networks. The technology is here, and now it's about agencies embracing it and ensuring their systems are built to collaborate and not compete. That's it for today's episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. Thanks for listening, and for more updates and insights, be sure to follow me on social media at Fletch911 or visit 911tips.com for all of our past episodes. Stay safe. Thanks for listening. And if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do. I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. That's 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good. TiPS is brought to you by 911 Inform, the leading next-generation 911 solution for enterprise compliance with federal 911 regulations. Visit them on the web at 911inform.com. 911 Inform, making every second count when it matters the most.